Good morning.
My rolling chair doesn't quite maneuver. I'm like one of those people at the supermarket that can't get it together.
You know what they say, a rolling chair gathers no moss. And by moss, I mean M-A-S.
But I don't like having Facebook open. People are like sending me messages like on Facebook.
Oh, I don't like that.
I'm like, no. I don't want that on my computer popping up in my face.
In my face? No, thank you.
Yes.
Well, we were just talking about follies, and of course, we're bringing in our guest a little bit later to discuss Don't Look at Me, Sally's little number. And I was just saying, I don't like the part where they talk about the lyric crazy, like blah, 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 this is crazy, and then we're still here acting crazy. Like, it reminds me of that meme where there's the girl, it's like the Instagram post, and she's like, my friend's so crazy, I love her, and she's like wearing the chips on her head in front of like a gas station cooler. I'm just like, Sally, you live this little Phoenix life. You're not allowed to be crazy until losing the mind.
Richard J. Alexander. That's
Richard.
My dream Carlotta. Caroline Hale, my dream Sally.
Good to know. Douglas got his second vax.
All right, Douglas, you're my Doug buddy.
I got my second vax last week as well.
Ben's
I didn't even see what your name was.
Thank you.
Onward, Tim. Hello, Scott Yannick.
Oh me, oh my. I'm all over the place. I have a little. I think back these. Yeah, totally. That is Sally. That's the point. You're supposed to be like, okay, Sally, calm down. If you're not like, okay, Sally, calm down, it's because like Vicky Clark was bad casting. We'll
wait, put a pin in that. Heidi ho. But I just don't like it. It's like when in Sunny in the Park when he's like, artists are so crazy. It just seems like a weird, like lazy lyric. But
I wonder though if it's changed like generationally. Thank you, Josh. Hi, Ben. You know what I mean? Like if crazy is more of like a because especially like post Seinfeld era where like I'm neurotic, like it's a whole I feel like maybe like before like the like I'm okay, you're okay pop psychology 1970s and 80s, like maybe crazy just meant like go to the loony bin, she's got problems, you know, like it wasn't the way it is now.
I like this. Okay, Sally, calm down.
Let's not make that a thing.
I think you're right. I'm always just like crazy. Like I wish she said something else.
I'm not sure I'm right, by the way. That was not my opinion. I was just like, maybe this is something.
But I think maybe it is true. Maybe the term crazy has evolved.
I mean, there's so much to say about Sally, really, truly.
So much to say.
This book is out today. Yes, wonderful.
Amazing. Thank you for Andrew. Thanks you for plugging his book.
Yes, he does. I do love Andrew McCarthy.
Well, speaking of follies, let's get into Roses and Daffodils to discuss.
We have to do our opening credits.
Oh, let's get into our opening credits.
And I was going to tell a long story. Then we really would have never run the credits.
One of the crazy Sallys herself to bring us in, Miss Bernadette Peters, live from New York, Tuesday morning.
Autumn, winter, next year.
Time heals everything. It's a song. And time heals everything.
This is funny because I see that people are watching us on Facebook, but I can't find it to share it. But maybe I just don't care.
Good point, Dolphy.
Speaking of, Dolphy is someone that was messaging me because he was like, why aren't I don't see you guys on Facebook? But do you know how this actually works is that we don't actually like, what am I trying to say? Like, it's always better to watch us on YouTube. First of all, we need the views.
Yeah.
But we don't, Facebook is wonky. Like, any of our regulars should not be watching on Facebook.
It's easy on Facebook for it to get lost in the shuffle as well.
Yeah, like for literally, I cannot find it on Facebook now.
Has anyone, Douglas brings up a good point, has anyone bought any tickets yet? Yes, she is funny. I can see Sally, doing a little web series.
Yes.
And I'm wearing green. I didn't even realize. You're wearing, what is yours? Like is it a light blue?
It's light blue, but I wore green the last time.
Beautiful.
I have a little internet story to share.
Good.
My days. He doesn't ever want to hear it. Well, too bad. It's my birthday tomorrow, so I can tell any story I want.
You're still acting crazy.
Today, the internet is fucking toxic and crazy. Everybody freaking knows that. And I really felt like I was just getting it from all angles today. And I bring it on myself because I go, like somebody posted like 80 Bryant should be fired for refusing to do SNL with Elon Musk.
You do that? Wow.
Well, which first of all, I realized I watched the show. She was on it, so I don't even know. But I'd forgotten that when I saw the person's post. So I was like, WTF, like Elon Musk supported Trump and blah, 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 and like, but I started it. This person posted their opinion that I disagreed with. And I could have let it go, or if I wanted to interact about it, I didn't have to start off with WTF, I started it off in this sort of, and by the way, this person was pretty nice to me, but other people in the comments were kind of coming for me, Right. Ultimately, a total stranger responded to a post where I had just been very honest and sharing, responded to it by saying, "This is the most psycho reply I've ever read," which really hurt my feelings.
Wow, so Sally today, Ben.
I know, so Sally. So, and there was just a few other things, and of course, anytime anything's happening in Israel, just like everybody hurts my feelings on every side, and it's like, so it was just like all insane. But this thing happened. Patti LuPone, when she cleaned out her closet a couple of years ago, gave me a bunch of stuff, including this like poster for the New York Philharmonic Company with everybody's autographs on it. And it's not really a great graphic design poster. It's pretty much just like all their headshots, right? And like I had it on the wall, but when I redid my apartment, I did so many things. And like, I don't love that company poster. I already have the company poster of the original production, which I love. And if I'm going to start having other companies, like I like the new company artwork better than the Philharmonic Company. I love the Philharmonic Company, but I don't need like Neil Patrick Harris's headshot like autographed on my wall,
Cool.
And so then it was like fucking like, shut down, I'm unemployed, I need money. I just thought I'd put it on eBay and see what I got. And I wound up getting almost $500 for it. I was so excited, right?
Oh, that's great.
So I sold it. So then I get this message yesterday from the guy that bought it being like, turns out that that's not Sondheim's autograph. I'm ticked. And I had been like autographed by Patti LuPone, Neil Patrick Harris, Stephen Sondheim, etc. And I thought it was Stephen Sondheim's autograph. It looks like Stephen Sondheim's autograph. So I'm like looking at it and trying to zoom in because I don't have it anymore. I'm looking at the photo. Who else? There's nobody else on the poster whose autograph it could be. Well, the guy forwards me all this stuff from Facebook autograph discussion groups.
Oh,
and it's like, it turns out it's somebody who was in the like non-equity ensemble named Sean Ewing, and Sondheim hadn't autographed it. So,
well, now you got Sean Ewing's autograph.
So I don't know, like even though the guy had been like, I'm ticked, I was like, I didn't take the bait of being like, confrontational. And I was just like, I'm really sorry. I never meant to defraud you. I thought it was Sondheim's autograph. What do you want me to do about this? Like, and we had this like kind of nice back and forth. And he was like, I would be happy if you gave me $100 refund because I feel that it's still worth something, just not as much. And I was like, okay, that's fair. I'll do that. So I send him the money.
Good customer service.
So then, and then just in the time when I was stepping in all this internet shit this morning, I get this message from him being like, I just want to thank you for being an honest person. And I have to tell you, like, it was this thing where yesterday when I first got the message and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like Betty Davis, like autograph hounds. They're not even, like I didn't want fucking people writing on my poster. It's like less valuable to me with fucking autograph, But I'm so, it really just like put me in a good mood after being all crazy this morning, seeing all these weird internet shit. And I got this like nice message and I was just like, oh, okay.
Good. Well, I'm glad it calmed you down, took you off that crazy Sally high.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's go straight to Roses and Daffodils because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Everything's coming up, Mama.
Alrighty, I have a little graphic today. to show the results of our Broadway baby last week. So, big winner.
As you can see, the big winner is Elaine Stritch. And, you know, I almost voted for Elaine, but well, all right, we're not sharing our feelings. But it's, you know, Ethel Chate got second place, which is great. And, you know, it's not that surprising that Jane Houdyshell from the recent Broadway revival was in third place. Mm. And it's interesting that of the two London cast recordings, that the one from 1987 did better than the more recent National Theatre production version. Mm-hmm. But that also makes sense to me too, in a way, because I feel like if you're choosing that one, it's because it's like you grew up with it or something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so like you haven't really grown up with the, you know, the Imelda production.
Sure.
You know, I don't know. I try to read the tea leaves, but you know, I'm glad Elaine won. I mean, it's not who I maybe wanted to win, but I also feel like, you know, Elaine, when all is said and done, she was a lot, but she ultimately didn't get that many sort of trophies. I mean, she literally didn't. She only won one Tony, you know, okay, and one Emmy. But like, give her Broadway baby. You know what I mean? Like,
and the listeners did give it to her.
They did. They did by a mile.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Elaine's ghost is powerful. And it's worth mentioning she is right, where is it? Right here above us, watching over.
With a tight grip.
With a tight grip. Well, speaking of another Broadway baby who is a listener favorite, let's bring in our guest today, who you guys know him, you love him. He is a regular here on Next Year Some Year, Macon Prickett.
Hello.
Hello, Macon.
Hi, guys.
Macon, we are so happy to have you here because, as we've discussed, there's too many damn songs in company for us to do a weekly poll for each song, because we would all be doing this into the Kamala Harris administration in 9 years. And so we decided that we would do it in 3 groups, where the lady solos, which is sort of a cheat, but let's say the lady solos are, the lady solos are the polls, and the male solos, we're having sort of Follies experts give us sound bites to use on the podcast. Yeah. And then for the rest of the numbers, we're having friends of the pod who we trust to come on and give us their 2 cents about which version they love. Yeah. And this one, like I said, is a little bit of a cheat, because in my heart, Don't Look at Me is really one of my favorite songs, and it's basically a lady solo, the way that we considered You'll Never Get Away From Me and Funny, Small World rather, to be Rose solos. But, you know, she has enough solos, and we needed to make it space out. But there's no one I would respect more than to come on and talk to us about this song. Such an important musical theater establishing character number for Sally, and who is a better establishing musical theater leading lady than Macon Prickett?
Exactly.
I would have to agree with you. Oh my gosh, guys, there's so much to say. I just want to quickly talk about, can you hear me okay? Everybody can hear me?
I think it might be better if you take out the AirPods. I feel like there's a delay that we might face. Yeah.
Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
It's worse, but but the sync is better. But now you're muted. Don't mute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Ah, there we go.
This is better?
Yeah.
I feel synced.
Amazing. Okay, so my history with Follies is so short because I did not know about Follies until the revival, the Broadway revival. Mm-hmm. Didn't come from a theater family, didn't come from an arts savvy town. So, which I'm actually back in right now, which is hilarious. Ooh. But I didn't know about Follies at all until the revival. And so learning about Follies, kind of backtracking from the revival, then listening to the London production, then listening to the Philharmonic concert, then finally just over the last few years diving into the OBC, I'm just like, there's a lot to unpack here, not counting the Paper Mill, the Encore's production. Like, I mean, there's too much, but not enough. Of course, I'm sure everyone agrees with me there. But so much to say about Sally in general. I don't even know where to begin with Sally. I mean, you know, there's the great debate of, is she a soprano? Is she a belter? What do we want from our favorite Sallys? Who do we want to play Sally in the future? And so it's, you know, of course, the first person I listened to sing the role through was Bernadette. And I'm like, this is Sally. This is what Sally is. And of course, now, years later, I'm like, Sally's not that, but she's all kinds of other things. She sure is. And I will say I love Bernadette's performance of Sally. I do. I think she's incredible. I think they've all been mostly wonderful. So, but I want to go ahead and say, like, right off the bat, Don't Look at Me, absolutely one of my favorite songs. And I will go ahead and say Dorothy's is the best, in my opinion. Favorite, top tier favorite, because I think, and this is something I find so rare with Sondheim songs, as someone who hears them all the time at auditions and stuff, no one sings them the way they're written. And if we prize Sondheim as as the composer lyricist, why Sally's not that, then why do we never, and I'm totally putting me in the category of all these people, why is his music never sung the way it's written? And I find it thrilling, and it took me a long time to get there, but listening to Dorothy's Losing My Mind and Don't Look at Me especially, I'm like, this is every note that's on the page. Like, this note was written for a reason. For example, the way she sings Say Something Anything, like, that's so by the book, because it sounds wrong, because no other Sally sings it like that in Don't Look at Me. So when I heard that, I was like, is that right? And then listening and looking at the music and listening to all the other Sallys, I was like, no, she's right. They're all wrong.
Refresh my memory. Sing it the way it's written, the way Dorothy sings it.
She sings it so, say something, anything.
Like, and how does, like, Bernadette do that line? Like,
say something, Ben, anything. You know, there's this great pause or this beat, which I love a beat. Let me tell you, we rely on the beats.
Beat for the God.
But sometimes just having that just straight through sung by the book is so refreshing, because we don't hear that a lot.
And from Bernadette.
Right. Well, and then you have, you know, someone like Julia McKenzie, who I will say, I love her Sally as well. It's so overdone. It's so oversang. And I feel like there is the great debate on top of, do we want Sally to belt? Do we want a soprano Sally? Do we want a singy Sally? Do we want a sung through Sally? And I feel like Julia McKenzie gives you that belting, that like anti-Mame singing that we want so desperately in every other role, and at times with Sally. But I don't think we want that always in Don't Look at Me, which is such an important introductory song, but also sets up the entire show. Like, what would Follies be without this particular number, you know?
Totally. I think, yeah, you're making some really, really great points. And I can tell you've done the work. And so I'm just so tickled, because honestly, whenever Ben and I do the final episode, we will be taking into consideration, you know, the listener contributions as well.
Yes.
On the same level as, you know, the audience polls, our own opinion. So it's
possibly quoting you, or possibly just stealing your opinions as our own.
Well, I had to make notes because I'm a crazy person, and I was like, if I don't write something down, I'm going to have nothing to say.
Okay, that's very interesting. I would love to know when you talked about these categories, it's very, you obviously said soprano, you said belter, you said speak singer, and you said sung through. Do you mean sung through the way you're talking about Dorothy Collins not pausing and singing the note values, or do you mean sung through like Andrew Lloyd Webber and Les Mis don't have like, you know, dialogue?
I actually meant, I should have rephrased that differently. Oversung.
Gotcha. Okay, so then why don't you just, I mean, I think we all could guess, but why don't you go through them and tell us how you think they each fit in those?
Yeah. So,
Daniel knows I love a category.
Of course.
Category. Also, I think Zach brings up a really great point as well.
Yes. Absolutely. I so agree with that.
And they all were, none of them are stars. The only one that has a career in show business is Carlotta. I mean, Phyllis is a star throwing dinner parties on the Upper East Side, but she's not a performer. They all have been out of the business.
I think he means the star turn with like the person playing Sally.
Right, but he says ordinary compared to the other ladies. You know, I mean, she's dowdy. Mm-hmm. She's you know, she says she's got a belly, and you know, she's not. Obviously, Phyllis has like full hair and makeup, and Sally's like, you know, doing it like in the Holiday Inn, whatever. But Howard Johnson's, but it is tricky. You know, it's like this, but that's always the problem. It's like another Sally Bowles, when it's like, do you want Sally Bowles to be a star belter, or do you want her to be someone who plausibly could have never made it out of the Kit Kat Club? You know, I mean,
right.
I think I would just like to say I would like her to be a star belter.
I think you said, didn't you say recently, it's more tragic if Sally Bowles is incredible and never made it out?
I said that?
I feel like someone said that recently. Maybe.
I like it. Whoever said it.
Well, also, I just don't think that show business success is guaranteed for people with talent, and I don't, you know, so when I see someone talented who's not successful, I'm like, that would never happen, you know. Anyway, please put the Sallys in neat little boxes.
Yes.
Okay, here are my, just very quickly, neat little boxes. Dorothy, original Broadway cast. I feel that she is such a singy, by the book kind of Sally. Again, she originated it. So she didn't have to listen to Bernadette's version or Imelda's version. She only had her, and I'm guessing Sondheim on a recording, you know, to listen to. Mm-hmm. So I think that she's probably the most by the book.
What you mean by the book? Because people might be taking that a certain way that you might not mean.
Yeah, right.
I think by the book meaning not creative, by rote, just doing what other people do. Is that what you're saying? I don't think so.
No, solely note by note, notes on the page, like following what she was given, not approaching it and saying, oh, well, I feel I should go up here. I'll go up here one day, go down here. No, like she's like, I'm singing this by what is written on the score, handed to me. Faithful to the material, absolutely. Yes. Which I personally believe is very important when you're approaching Sondheim's work. Maybe not so much other composer lyricists, but Sondheim especially. I want faithfulness to the material. You know?
Although, in fairness, I feel like if anyone on planet Earth, living or dead, has the green light to just kind of do what they want with Sondheim, it's probably Bernadette.
Absolutely, it is.
I really picture him being like, ugh.
And I think sometimes she's done it and it's been thrilling, you know, whether in her concerts or on stage. I totally love some of the choices she's made, but we'll get there. But Barbara Cook, for example, I think is, other than Julia McKenzie, like one of the most not over singing in a bad way, but she fills every single note with that beautiful voice, because it was also a concert production, and not saying she couldn't have played it on Broadway 8 times a week, but there was a little bit more, I think, wiggle room when it came to that production, where everyone, I mean, Elaine, just like what we were saying, you could really put yourself into it for a one night only or, you know, special engagement. And thank God Barbara Cook gave us that.
But Barbara Cook talked about that actually, because she sang Losing My Mind and In Buddy's Eyes for years and years and years, and years afterwards. And she has said that her performances of the song, specifically Losing My Mind, well, no, maybe I don't know, but that they grew so much because she first came and she was performing it. And the more she sat with the material over the decades, that she learned in general as a performer, but she said it specifically about one of those songs, that she didn't need to do so much, and that it was just about expressing a truth through the music and not giving a big show.
Right. I find that fascinating because she does give such a, obviously not a big, it's not showy at all, but just that voice and that soprano that we get from her, which, and again, I was never, just because Bernadette was the first Sally I heard, and Bernadette is so on that line of belter soprano throughout the entire score.
Sometimes in the middle of a song.
Right. And I truly didn't know. I was like, well, what is she? What is Sally supposed to be? And then hearing Imelda, I'm like, oh, well, that's very spoke songy.
Quite.
Oh, and then listening to Julia McKenzie for the first time a few years ago, I was like, oh my God, she like sings the crap out of this role. Like, I want her to play Cora Hoover Hooper, or like,
Yes, that album just came out.
Oh, right. It did just come out. Yes. Oh my gosh. I have no.
Well, she hasn't played it, but she recorded it.
Right. Or like I said, Auntie Mame, like those are the roles I want to hear her.
I'll send you. I have her BBC, I have the entire Mame, the whole show with Julia.
With her, okay, amazing. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not as familiar with her as I should be, but at the same time, I find her recordings of Sally's songs thrilling, though I don't think it always serves what we need from an actor playing Sally as well as Dorothy's, because every song, not just Don't Look at Me, but Losing My Mind, In Buddy's Eyes, and then when all of them, it's so specific. Like, she really, well, obviously did her homework. This was the first production, but she was so innately like part of that character, and that character was part of her, that I find it so thrilling that it's not showy and it's not over the top, and it's so faithful to how it was written. Like, I find that to be just the most thrilling performance of Sally overall, but especially in Don't Look at Me, when we're meeting her for the first time, and she's just walked on stage. We don't know anything about this girl, and then she's telling us, in all of these subtle ways, what's important to her, what's not. Look at these people, aren't they eerie? And then of course there are the lyric changes in the other versions that are a whole other thing. Love or hate them, but I also must say, though, George Hearn and Barbara Cook singing it together, and his, how he options up and all of the tenor stuff, and then his What We Need Is a Drink is just delivered so fabulously. That has to be my second place, just because how can you even compare the two? But that would be my second place.
Fascinating.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Macon. You are a treasure and a doll, and a true Broadway baby. What does your shirt say? Is it all just Broadway? It
just says Broadway in different fonts.
Oh, it's all like publication fonts.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I thought it was Times, The New Yorker. I love it.
Before we let you go, do you have any shows planned? Have you bought tickets yet?
I am seeing Company on December 20th.
Wow.
I was on tour when I didn't go to London to see it, though I almost did. I was on a tour when it was beginning previews and supposed to open on Broadway. So, I was devastated that I was going to miss it. So I was like, I will be their first performance. And
who were you on tour with?
I was on a Theater Works tour playing a cow.
What show?
It's called Click Clack Moo. It's a children's book.
Ooh, I loved. I've seen a bunch of Theater Works USA shows.
They're cute. Yeah, they're really cute. Yeah,
super cute.
Yeah, check out my Instagram for cow content.
Where can people follow you, Macon? Is it just Macon Prickett?
At Mr. Macon Prickett on everything.
All right.
I follow you. You're a wonderful follow. We love you so much. And stay tuned for the pod. We'll be recycling a lot of Macon's opinions.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Wonderful. Her. I mean, famously, we've also coined the phrase Macon Prickett as what would you call that? Like a verb? I don't know the English term for it. It's like Macon Prickett is like a verb clause. English people, what is that called? Click, clack, moo. Now we got to figure out something to use click, clack, moo for, because that's pretty great. Okay, well, now that we've talked about Sally, and these numbers, I'm craving our next segment, which is Appreciation Station, because I know we both have some great Follies related content.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, tell me about yours.
Well, so I'm going to try to explain this without talking about my feelings to save that for the pod. But I basically am on a journey. My quest for myself in this process is really above and beyond even doing the podcast. Just as a lifelong Sondheim fan and Follies lover, I, for years, felt like, why do all the smart people like Dorothy Collins the best? You know, I fell in love with lots of different performances of different songs, especially Barbara Cook's. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why, you know, and I would listen and I wouldn't quite get it, you know? And so I have really set the challenge for myself personally in this process to be like, by the time we record the podcast, Dorothy Collins may have become my favorite Sally across the board, or partially, or not at all. But I will no longer be able to say that I don't get it. I'm saying, like, I want myself to fully get it. And then if it's not my favorite, that's my opinion. But I want to know that I get what everybody's talking about. And so I do feel that something has helped me get closer, which I talked about a little bit last week, which was that I found this YouTube. Now, there's a thing on YouTube that is called Follies in Miniature that my Uncle Mitchell has talked about a lot over the years.
Like a Lego Follies?
No, it's not. I think in miniature meant something else to previous generations that it doesn't mean to us anymore.
That should be the next Lego movie, though, is Lego does Sondheim's Follies.
They'd probably do Into the Woods. But Follies in Miniature is like very, very bad quality, like old clackety, like Super 8 film clips of the original production, which of course are silent. So there's a live audio of the show spliced over that. But because it's so hard to see what's going on in this terrible video, it's interspliced with still images from the production too. So it's like a very weird way to watch the show. You know, it's like that horrible scene in A Star Is Born where they lost the foot.
I was just about to say, it's like Judy's Star Is Born lost.
You know, so for years, my Uncle Mitchell was like, Follies in Miniature, Follies in Miniature. And I was like, this is not helping me find my inner Dorothy Collins lover, you know? But then I found this thing that somebody had posted, which is from we talked about last week, which is from the Los Angeles production that came shortly after the Broadway production with the original cast, which was dress rehearsal footage, and it's very good quality, and it's only maybe 40 minutes of the show, and it's not the 40 minutes you would necessarily choose, but you get to see weird things, group numbers and book scenes, and the little flashes I would get of this good quality close-ups of Dorothy Collins. And I've watched her on the talk shows and the other shit that's online, but finally I was like, and also, you know what else helped me was something that Kevin Daly said. And now I don't remember if it was when he came on the show 2 weeks ago or if it was in one of my like harassing him over DM about the show. But he said that Dorothy Collins is the only one that came on. Her Sally comes on at the top and she's really fucking excited to be there. And she thinks it's going to work out with Ben.
Ooh.
And this is like her dream come true. And, you know, so that's like something that it's like, oh, right, duh, acting 101. Like, don't play the ending, blah, blah, blah. And I saw that watching these clips. And the other thing that kind of along the lines of what Macon was saying, but our friend of the pod, Maddie O'Brien, said it to me when he and I watched the Follies dress rehearsal footage last week, was that like, oh, these people aren't playing it like, Sondheim's Follies, him to be or not to be. Mm-hmm. You're playing it like it's just this gig that they got and they're just playing the characters, you know? And it's also partly that these characters take place in 1971 and that's when they're doing it. So to them, it's very, it's like, you know, it's you and me doing a scene where somebody's like, did you watch Drag Race? As opposed to like, you know, like when Mother came down the stairs, you know?
Right, yeah.
And I saw both of those things watching that footage. So I wanted to like find a musical number because I feel like I want the audience, because I do think that the OBC, just like with Gypsy, is at a disadvantage with the voters. Mm-hmm. So I want to help our audience, whether they like it or not, as much as me,
yes,
be exposed to Dorothy Collins. So I tried to find, unfortunately, there's not much in this thing. There's a tiny little bit of the very beginning of Don't Look at Me, not even the song proper. But what I realized about Follies that I didn't remember from seeing the show is that she sings a little bit of it and then she sings the whole song again a couple minutes later. Because the first time she sings it, she's rehearsing because she's planned out, just like she says, how I planned. Mm-hmm. She planned out what she's going to say to Ben. And that's when she finally does run into him 5 minutes later, she's doing her like rehearsed thing, which she is from Down Sally. So that the practicing it part is the only part that's in the rehearsal footage, but I wanted more. So then is paying respect to the Paper Mill people that are bitter that that album is not included. I then included more of that sequence of Donna McKechnie doing it, even a little bit of her scene with Dee Hoty. So that is what we have. And it's also, so I edited them together. It's kind of psycho, and it's not even the complete scene with Dorothy Collins and John McMartin because it's not all there. So it's a little wonky what I did, but I hoped that it would be a fun thing to watch.
Here we go.
I wrecked from Phoenix live and in person, Sally Durant. Here she is at last, twinkle in her eye. Sally! Sally! Sally, come on, will you? That's our call. Oh, God, my hook's undone. Here, let me. Okay? Okay.
Sally, it is you, isn't it?
Phyllis. Of course it's me. You came, you're here. Oh, and look at you. I want to hug you, but I can't. You're like a queen. You're like Jackie Kennedy. Oh, what a thing to say. I'm talking silly.
Well, if you can't, I can.
Hurry! It's just that out in Phoenix, nothing like this ever happens. I don't think I've slept in days. I'm so excited.
Sally, you look just as cute as ever.
Me? I'm a mess. I've got a tummy. My hair's too bleached. Oh, who cares? New York's all changed. I couldn't even find the theater tonight and this afternoon. When I walked past 44th and 3rd. Oh, Phil, it wasn't bad.
What wasn't?
Our apartment where we live. Don't you remember 5 flights up? I did the cleaning and you cooked. Baked beans and peanut butter sandwiches.
You never made the beds.
I still don't. Remember that awful bathtub in the kitchen? And the racket when the L went by.
You know, I think I loved it.
You were homesick and you cried a lot. Oh, but we had fun.
You married Buddy, didn't you?
He always liked you, Phil.
I always liked him, too.
And you married Ben. I know, I read about you in the magazines. I even saw your living room in Vogue. It's blue. Is Ben in Europe?
Oh, no, he's not with the UN anymore. He's here now.
Tonight? Phil, would you tell me something?
If I can.
Ben Stone, you turn around and look at me. I want a reason, damn it. Ben. It's me. Now, folks, we bring you direct from Phoenix live and in person, Sally Durant. Here she is at last, twinkle in her eye. Hot off the press, trivial mess, nevertheless. Hi, Ben. No, don't look at me, please, not just yet. Why am I here? This is crazy. No, don't look at me. I know that face you're trying to place the name. Say something, Ben, anything. No, don't talk to me, Ben. I forget. What were we like? It's so hazy. Look at these people, aren't they eerie? Look at this party, isn't it dreary? I'm so glad I came.
Can I look now?
Oh my God. It's so awkward. He's like, okay, I'm not looking.
I hate that cameraman so much.
Oh God. I feel this clutch. I'm her sash. Donna McKechnie's popped head.
I'm her fake eyelashes that she hasn't taken off since 1962.
Yeah, that was really cool. I loved seeing Dorothy. She's so captivating.
Captivating. It's yeah. But we do love Donna. Although why aren't all, if they're gonna say my hair's too bleached, shouldn't her hair be bleached?
Wait, which one?
Sally says my hair's too bleached. Oh, I didn't keep that, because I was 6 minutes long when I included the whole scene with Dee Hody, so I cut that. But she says to Phyllis, oh, I have a tummy and my hair's too bleached. And Don McKechnie says that with her trademark red hair.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's what's that role that you never know? Forget. Put a pin in that. Well, speaking of other ladies we love who are captivating, I have to give full credit to Zach Couch for this because he tweeted it. It's not the first time I've stolen content from him, but it brought me so much joy, and I could not believe I'd never seen this. It is a Golden Girls performance of our Kevin Daly song "Beautiful Girls." And it is pretty magnificent. So just, buckle in and enjoy.
Hats off! Here they come, those beautiful girls. That's what you've been waiting for. Nature never fashioned a flower so fair. No rose can compare. Nothing respectable, half so delectable. Hear them in their glory. Diamonds and pearls, dazzling jewels by the score. This is what you can be. A beautiful. Welcome to the beautiful Nolen girl.
Oh my God. When I first saw that, I was like, am I dead? Like, this is something I just never thought would be possible, but it is everything I ever wanted.
When Betty White comes down the stairs, no rose can compare.
Oh my, literally. But I just love that she is singing that. And then at the end, Sophia's just like, a beautiful. It's just so on brand.
What is that? Is this the only instance of B. Arthur singing a Sondheim tune? I know she sings some people, but
right. And that's a good point.
Yeah, Taryn, me too. I literally want to end the show now and just lie in bed with the lights off and just be like, okay, I'm still alive. That wasn't the end of life on Earth.
Thank you, Zach, for
Thank
sure.
you, Zach.
Let's just do our next Quarren stream over that 1.5-minute video.
No, we could talk about it for 6 hours.
Well, I do not know if B. Arthur, I can't think of any other Sondheim songs she sung, but our one for this week she would not have been singing because it is In Buddy's Eyes. It definitely would have been out of her range.
I never stopped her before.
True. Okay, so today, Buddy's Eyes is our Name That Belt.
I love you. Really sing out. You really build a song. There are very few of us left.
Me too as well, Taryn. All right. First up, In Buddy's Eyes. If you think you know it, type it in the comments and see if you can get it before Benjamin.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young and beautiful.
Donna McKechnie, baby. Paper Mill.
Speaking of people on the line between soprano and belter, unlike Bernadette Macon, Donna actually is. Next. No, Bernadette, it's fair.
Bernadette is on the line, I think.
I wish she was a little more on the line in Follies, but she is in her history.
All right, next up.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful. In Buddy's eyes,
Marilyn?
I can't get older. I'm still the princess.
Similar.
Still the prize. In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful.
My Dwayne.
In Buddy's arms, on Buddy's shoulder.
Oh,
I won't get older.
From the LA Reprise production.
It's a cabaret. It's a cabaret singer, and she's singing it live from a cabaret. Yes.
Well, Terry Ralston's in the original cast of Company and Baker's Wife. She's more than a cabaret singer.
Oh, for sure. But this is live from the Metropolitan Room.
Oh God.
So yeah, good job, Dolphy.
Very good, Dolphy. For anyone that enjoyed that voice, don't sleep on Terry Ralston singing the song Chanson on the original cast recording of The Baker's Wife with Patti LuPone.
Beautiful. Next up, someone else who has a beautiful, beautiful voice.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful.
He tried to trick me by saying who has a beautiful voice, but I saw it.
I can't get older.
Vicki Clark.
It was either Vicki Clark or Frederica von Stade.
Exactly. Next up.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful. In Buddy's eyes, I can't get older. I'm still the princess.
I know this voice.
Still the prize.
Sure do.
In Buddy's
Yes.
Oh God. Well,
I'm young.
She'd be a good Sally.
For no tea, no shade, Liz Calloway, probably better than anyone, occupies that space between belter and soprano. And it's unfair that all you people have blathered on about her meadowlark so much just to annoy me that it's forcing me into a defensive posture when I'm actually a Liz Calloway fan. I just have no breath left over to be a fan because I'm too busy trashing her meadowlark.
Beautiful, beautiful voice. Someone else.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful. In Buddy's eyes, I can't get older.
Judy Kay?
The princess, still the prize.
Yep.
That's Rebecca Luker?
Rebecca Luker.
When did she sing that?
I just closed it out, but it's some concert.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Liz Calloway actually would be a good Sally, and she was great as young Sally. Although she'll have history for going, I am young Sally, I am young Sally, I am young Sally.
I forget. I always forget she's young Sally in that concert. Next up.
Oh, fucking Patti LuPone. You know,
Yes.
I would love to hear Patti LuPone sing that song with an adult in the room besides her and Mandy Patinkin, you know.
Taryn, I love it. I'm gonna start just calling her Loop.
That's what her husband calls her.
Loop. That's so good. Alrighty.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful, and
Brian?
That's all you get, yeah.
I did not know that ever happened. That's hilarious.
It's just a tiny insert into this Sondheim medley.
What is that from? A big Sondheim medley he did by himself?
Yeah, I get Cap at 54 Below or something.
I want to hear that entire medley twice.
It's Being Alive, Buddy's Eyes, Worst Pies in London, and one other one.
I'm in.
All right. Someone else we love.
No?
In Buddy's eyes, I can't get over. I'm still the princess, still the prize. In Buddy's eyes, I'm young and beautiful.
Great voice.
In Buddy's arms, I'm
Oh.
on his shoulder.
God damn.
Won't get over, nothing died.
Love Marin.
I mean, honestly, that recording right there, like, that could give Barbara Cook a run for her money. That is richness. But I also want to say, the more I think about it, and I do think, in the same way that Dorothy Collins was this like kind of 1950s girl singer that nobody really took seriously, certainly not as a dramatic actress, but she was sort of so right for Sally that she was just really, really, really good. I kind of feel like Liz Calloway would be like a really freaking amazing Sally.
I agree. I think she'd be a good Sally.
Judy Kay?
Finally, Judy gets her day in the
I was like, Rimalower, this is your last chance. If it's not Judy Kay, you don't get to vote her, even when it's a video of her.
Oh, God.
Not for nothing, Judy Kay is an ideal voice to sing that song as well.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful. In Buddy's eyes, I can't get over. I'm still the princess, still the prize. In Buddy's eyes, I'm young, I'm beautiful.
I know this voice.
In Buddy's eyes, on Buddy's shoulder, I won't get older. Nothing dies, and all I ever did, I need the best I ever thought of me. Is every
Give us a hint.
Not Imelda.
to see.
Not British.
I'm not sure if she's British, but her first name is the same name as.
Wait, was that Shawnee Wallace?
No. It's Nancy Dussault.
Dussault. Nancy Dussault is the. I mean, I grew up with her because she was on Too Close for Comfort, but she replaced Mary Martin in The Sound of Music and Bernadette in Into the Woods.
Ooh, wow. I didn't know that.
She famously introduced the song "Make Someone Happy" in the musical Nolen.
Beautiful, beautiful. And finally,
yeah, Dolphy. To us, Nancy Dussault is like a TV star, but these millennials are like, what?
Someone else who we know from TV who's a favorite here.
In Buddy's eyes, I'm young.
Carol Burnett.
In Buddy's arms.
Just like Carol Burnett doing a full staging of In Buddy's Eyes on the Carol Burnett show. Like,
but is that the one when they're like the waiters in the restaurant, in the diner, and they do like a big Sondheim review?
No, this is like in a living room somewhere, and she's like on the phone, and then she goes over to this table and is lighting the candles, and she's like this little like mousy character.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
But yeah, I have to give Carol props. I mean, just really, really taking advantage of her time on the air to do some really niche things.
Yeah.
All right, we have 5 minutes left, so let's do a little Dolly concert kill. We have a lot of ladies fresh on the brain.
Sure. All right, I have one for you.
Go.
Julia McKenzie, Barbara Cook, Bernadette Peters.
Julia McKenzie, Barbara Cook, Bernadette Peters, Julia McKenzie, Dolly, Bernadette Peters concert, kill Miss Cook. I'm so sorry. One for you would be Dorothy Collins, Dorothy Loudon, and Dorothy from the Golden Girls.
Well, I mean, I truly am in a deep place of falling in love with Dorothy Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, it's Dorothy Loudon, Dolly, Dorothy Zbornak in concert, and kill Dorothy Collins.
I just want to see that little sign outside the Schubert. It's like, Dottie is Dolly. Okay, good one. Why don't you take this one too?
Gladly. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to see Burnett as Dolly and Marin in concert one more time. And Betty White, time's up, bitch.
Time's up. I mean, I think it's not mean to kill Betty White because she's lived a big, long life.
Well, it's kind of mean because Mary Maisie's already dead.
True, but it's respectful to want her to live.
Yes, true.
Okay, I want this one. The Sarahs. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. I mean, part of me wants to see Sarah Brightman just for the train wreck, but I will say Sarah Vaughan. I would love Sarah Vaughan as Dolly, and then no, or I don't really want to see either of those other ones in a show, in concert.
You don't think SJP could do a good Dolly?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, let's say this. If there's any Broadway musical she wouldn't suck in, Dolly is a pretty good guess.
I think she'd actually be a better Mame.
Yeah, but she couldn't sing it.
She couldn't sing it, but she's not a Dolly to me. I think maybe I'll see Sarah Brightman as Dolly just for the train wreck, Sarah Vaughan in concert, and then, I'm sorry, SJP.
I mean, you can't really get mad at like a white gay for killing Sarah Jessica Parker.
Right. It cancels out. Nancy Dussault, Nancy Walker, and Nancy Opal.
I would be honored. I would first like to kill Nancy Opal, and then if there's time left over, I would want to see Nancy Walker as Dolly and Nancy Dussault in concert. And you know what? That is one of my goals for the next year or two, if it takes that long. Nancy Dussault is alive and well, still in good voice. She and her BFF, Terry Ralston, have done many two-handers, even at Fit for a Blow, and I've never seen her, and I need to rectify that.
You need to rectify that. She is a hustler. That's for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Zachary Jordan.
You are a hateress. Why don't you take this one too? Because I don't really have the research. I haven't done the research for this one.
Well, this is fun. I mean, I feel like in personality, like Ramona and Sonia are more Dolly Levi types than Luann. Like Luann doesn't really get up in people's business. Like Luann is just like, she literally says it, I'm just doing me. Like Ramona and Sonia are never just doing them. They're always like up in other people's tea. But I think I'd have to go with Sonia because like, if Ramona came down the stairs at the Harmonia Gardens, people would be like, just pretend you don't see her. Yeah. Whereas like Sonia, you'd literally be like, first of all, you're 2 hours late.
Right. Second of all, you've taken off the dress. You're just in your undies.
Yeah. And then, of course, Luann in concert. And Ramona, I will do what so many Real Housewives of New York City have wished they could do for years. Kill.
All right. Well, on that note, on the kill note, thank you guys for listening. We love you so much. XOXO. Stay tuned on our social medias for this week's poll in Buddy's Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Autumn, winter, next year.
Time heals everything. It's a song. And time heals everything.